So, just to illustrate an example, right? We want to say, for example, we want to say the father of the boy read the newspaper. Okay? The father of the boy, or the boy's father, read the newspaper.
قرأ.
Right. How are we going to begin that sentence?
The verb.
Right. With the verb which is?
قرأ.
قرأ. قرأ. Okay, then we said the father's boy, or the father of the boy, read the newspaper. So the boy's father, we should be aware that that will now be what type of construct in Arabic?
منصوب.
No, the boy's father is going to be al-Idaafah to. Because we have the boy and the father. The boy's father. Just like here we have the boy's book. Okay? So, we have qara'a, our fi'lun. What comes next?
Will the newspaper come now?
Well, what ordinarily comes after a fi'lun in a jumlatul fi'liyah? The fa'ilun, the doer. Who's our doer here?
The boy's father.
The boy's father.
So it's wala.
The boy's father. So the boy's father, being al-Idaafah to, is going to be comprised of two nouns. Right? Which two nouns are those?
The boy.
The boy and the father. Which one's going to come first? Is the father going to come first, or is the boy?
Father.
Good. The father. So, there's two words for father in Arabic. Okay. The common one is abun. The other one is?
Abi.
That's my father. The other one is walidun. Walidun. Okay? We're going to use a walidun, and there's a reason for that. Right? Which I'll explain later. Right. So we have two words. It might get a bit complicated because both of them look the same. Walidun and waladun. Okay? Like in the beginning of Surah Al-Balad. وَوَالِدٌ وَمَا وَلَدٌ وَوَالِدٍ وَمَا وَلَدٌ. Right? So, walidun is?
Father. A father.
A father. Waladun is?
A boy. A boy.
A boy. So how is this going to become an Idaafah? Abdul Ahad, how are we going to say this?
I don't know.
No, you do know. You're the one who said that the father comes first. So think about it. Implement the rules of the Idaafah to make the father's boy,
Walidu waladi.
sorry, the boy's father, here.
Walidu waladi.
Walidu.
Waladi.
Good. We're going to say walidu. Walidu.
Waladi.
Right? So we've got father.
Al-walad. Al-waladi.
Good. Abdul Ahad. Then al-waladi. Right? Walidul waladi. That's perfectly correct. So walidul waladi means?
It's not going to be
Newspaper.
Is it called Mansubun? The Wali Da. Because of the verb. I'm a bit confused.
Right. Okay. Here we have our Jumlatul Fi'liya. We begin with qara'a. Right? We begin with qara'a. Then we have our fa'ilun. Our fa'ilun is always
Marfu'.
what state, Arjan?
Marfu.
Marfu'un. And the indicator that it's marfu'un is
Damma.
the Dhamma. That has a Dhamma, right? So that's correct. Then we have Al-Waladi. Al-Waladi is our mudafun ilayhi. It's a thing connected to by walidu. So that's our dua. Walidul waladi. Actually, the dua is walidu, right? Al-Waladi is just connected to it. That is marfu'un. For the purpose of Arabic grammar, that word is marfu'un, right? So it follows the correct rule that the fa'ilun has to be marfu'un, right? But our sentence was, the boy's father read the newspaper. Okay? So we've got our fi'lun, we have our fa'ilun. So what completes our sentence? Which word completes it?
With the M with the
What?
What's the word for news?
مفعول به.
The maf'ulun bihi, right, Abdul Ahad. The maf'ulun bihi. Right? The maf'ulun bihi isn't here. And the maf'ulun bihi is always what state? Begins with mim.
Mansubun.
Mansubun, right? So you don't know the word for newspaper. A newspaper is jaridatun and sahifatun, but we'll stick with jaridatun. So how do we complete our sentence? By using jaridatun.
Jadidatan.
The boy's father read the newspaper. Right, Abdul Ahad, answer.
Is it al-jaridati?
Al-jaridati. Al-jaridati. Jaridati. Right, that's what Abdul Ahad thinks. قرأ والد الولد الجريدة. أخلاق. Is that correct?
I don't know.
No, you do know. You just have to break it down from what you've understood so far from Arabic grammar. Qara'a is our fi'lun. Is that correct or not?
Yeah.
Right, there's no problem there. Then we need a fa'ilun. The fa'ilun is always marfu'un. Is walidu marfu'un?
Yes.
Yes, that's correct. This is an idafatun, and according to the rules of the idafatun, that should be majrurun, because the mudafun ilayhi is always majrurun. Is that majrurun ya rajan? Yes, so that bit's correct up to here. Then the third and the final part of al-jumlatul fi'liyatu is that the maf'ulun bihi is always
Mansubun.
what, Abdul Ahad?
Mansub.
No, you do know.
Yeah, mansub.
Mansubun. So why did you put a kasra on the end of al-jarida and make it al-jaridati? Is al-jaridati mansubun?
No.
What is it? Majrurun. So what do we do to change it? Sorry?
Change it.
To what? No, you know. To a? Yeah, but what's the indicator that it's mansubun?
It's a
A fatha.
I forgot the name.
A fatha. Just do an indicator with your hand. Right, that's correct. That's it. قرأ والد الولد الجريدة الجريدة. Right, Muhammad, what's wrong?
I just get confused.
About what?
Because you said when ismun is a verb follows the ismun, it's always mansubun.
A verb follows an ismun, it's always mansubun. Well, that a verb precedes an ismun, that ismun then becomes a mansubun. You see, you have to not look at it in terms of word order for a very good reason, which we'll explain at some point. You have to understand it from what each word, its role is in the sentence. What is the role of that word? So for example, qara'a, that's clear that it's a fi'lun. And all, by its very nature, al-jumlatul fi'liyya, you begin with the fi'lun. Right? So that's fine. Then, as I said, if walidul waladi wasn't here, let's erase it. If it wasn't here, what would that sentence mean? Qara'a al-jaridata.
He read the newspaper.
He read the newspaper. Right? You follow, Arjan? He read the newspaper, but as soon as we introduce an ismun, such as walidun, okay? Now what does it mean? Qara'a walidun al-jaridata.
He, the boy, read the newspaper.
He, the boy. You've made that same.
A boy read.
Except that doesn't say a boy.
Oh,
That's walidun.
Father
A father
read.
read the newspaper. Right? So why are we now saying a father read the newspaper, whereas before we were saying he read the newspaper? Why? Why, Arjan? Why are we now changing the meaning? Because we've added the dua. We've added an ismun, haven't we? That ismun is marfu'an. So now it changes the meaning. Right? Muhammad?
I'm getting there.
No, let's remove it. We can keep doing this. Now it's qara'a al-jaridata. What does it mean, Abdul Ahad?
He read the newspaper.
He read the newspaper. We don't have an explicit fa'ilun, meaning we don't have an ismun which is marfu'un, that we can say that was the one, he was the one who did it, or she did it. We don't have that. But what if we did introduce it and say al-walidu qara'a al-walidu al-jaridata. Now what does it mean?
The father read the newspaper.
Right, the father read the newspaper. Good that you remember the al. Right, qara'a al-walidu al-jaridata. Right? So, why now are we concerned about this? Because we have an ismun which is marfu'un. But just to illustrate the point, right? Let's remove al-jaridata and let's say this will make it clearer. Kitaba al-waladu. Qara'a al-kitaba al-waladu. Right, akhlaq. What does this sentence now say?
He read the book. Waladu boy. The boy.
The boy read the book. But just wait, there's something different about this sentence now, isn't there? Yes, or John?
Because this one got at the end. Do you always start with this one? Is that what you're trying to say?
Because the doer is now at the end. But that's irrelevant to the meaning. Why? How do we know that al-waladu is the doer and al-kitaba is the object, the maf'ulun bihi, Abdullah? How do we know that for absolute certainty?
Because majrur.
What's majrurun? Neither of these are majrurun. That's mansubun, that's marfu'un. No, you know this. No, don't shake your head. You knew this 20 minutes ago. Abdul Ahad, what state is al-kitaba in?
It's the second one.
The second one, mansubun.
Yeah.
What state is al-waladu in?
The first one.
The first one, marfu'un. The doer, the fa'ilun, is always which one? Marfu'un. So therefore we know al-waladu, the boy, qara'a, read. What did he read?
The book.
The book. We know it's the book because al-kitaba is mansubun. Right?
So when you would break that sentence down, the maf'ulun bihi would be in the middle.
It is in the middle.
Yeah, but you would say that it's in the middle.
Yeah, well, that is in the middle. It's not normally in the middle. It's normally after the doer. But why did I change the order, the word order? Because to illustrate the point that they can actually be changed.
It doesn't matter. You can tell by the.
Yes, that's what you have to learn. That it doesn't matter what order is. How do I know the meaning based upon the role of each word in the sentence? Right? So, to give another example, okay? Right. Akhlaq, you like this verb, right? Daraba. What does daraba mean? Right. Daraba الطالب المعلم. Right, so daraba means he hit. Then we have at-talib, the student. Then we have al-muallim, the teacher. So now how are we going to read this? We have one of two ways, don't we? Either we're going to read it daraba at-talibu al-muallima, which then gives us a meaning.
The student hit the teacher.
The student hit the teacher. Or we're going to read it daraba at-taliba al-muallimu. Daraba at-taliba al-muallimu.
The teacher hit the student.
Yes. How do we know? Because as I said, in the vast majority of Arabic texts, the vowel markings will not be there. So how do you know which one is al-fa'ilu, the doer, and which one is the maf'ulun bihi? In this instance, you don't know. Unless, if we just have this sentence alone by itself, there's no indicator to tell us what it actually means. Who is it who hit who? Ordinarily, if this was in a paragraph or a page of text, from the context, you could determine who it is the fa'ilun and who's the maf'ulun bihi. You could work it out, right? But just as it is, you wouldn't know. Now, in order to remove the ambiguity, ordinarily, even in most texts, they would put a marking to indicate, for example, that that's your doer. So it's not that it's a great problem, because in most instances it would be clarified either by the context or a marking. But this is to illustrate the point that you know what type of word it is, not based upon the order, but based upon the ending. Right? Is that clear? Akhlaq. So, back to our original sentence, which was, the boy's father read the newspaper. Okay? How do we say that? Qara'a. Abdullah, you can say something too.
Walidi.
What?
I don't know, walidi.
Walidu. Walidu.
Walidi.
Al-waladi.
Got newspaper.
Al-jaridata. Jaridata. The boy's father read al-jaridata, the newspaper. Right? Akhlaq. This is an example where our fa'ilun, our doer, is an idafatun. That's why I mentioned this example, to illustrate that point. Does everybody understand that? Rajan?
So, yeah.
You sure?
Yeah.
Right? So now, let's make our maf'ulun bihi an idafatun too. And say, the teacher's newspaper. The teacher's newspaper. So the boy's father read the teacher's newspaper. Think about, remember, the teacher's newspaper is going to be an idafatun. It's going to comprise of two nouns, mudafun, mudafun ilayhi, and we're going to adhere to these four rules.
Jadidatu al-muallimi.
Tu
al-muallimi.
Al-muallimi. قرأ والد الولد جريدة المعلم. Is that right, Abdul Ahad?
It seems right.
It seems right. It usually does seem right. Does that seem right to you, Akhlaq?
Yeah.
Rajan? So, let's break it down. This is a jumlatul fi'liya. Which one is the fi'lun?
The fi'l is qara'a.
Qara'a. Who is the fa'ilun?
Walidu.
Walidu. How do we know it's the fa'ilun?
Marfu.
It's marfu'un. Okay, this is just a mudafun ilayhi to walidu. And it's always a majruru. Right, so we've got our fi'lun, we've got our fa'ilun. Which one is our maf'ulun bihi?
Jadidata.
Oh, you've changed it now, Muhammad. You've changed it. Which one is our maf'ulun bihi?
Newspaper.
In Arabic.
Jadidata.
Jarida ta. Well, now everybody's saying jarida ta. Why? Because the maf'ulun bihi is always what state, Rajan?
Mansub.
Mansubun. And the indicator that it's a mansubun is
Fatha.
a fatha. Is this a fatha, Ya Abdul Ahad? Yes. And al-muallimi is always going to be majrurun because the mudafun ilayhi is always majrurun. Isn't it? So that now means the boy's father read the teacher's newspaper, and it is grammatically correct. So that's an example of a jumlatul fi'liyah that begins obviously with the fi'lun. We have a fa'ilun that comprises of an idaafah, and we have a maf'ulun bihi that's also an idaafah. Right, any questions?
Everyone understood it.
What?
You understood it.
You understood it?
I didn't. But
I'd like to say, well, let's go through it all again, but now it's time for Maghrib. But you can watch the video. It's not really that complicated, Abdullah. Right, we'll conclude. Subhanakallahumma bihamdika ashhadu an la ilaha illa anta astaghfiruka wa atubu ilayk.